Hey guys, Brian here at Ground Control again, here with one of our instructors, Boris, and we're still working the what if scenarios. So from our regular attacks from full guard, what if this happens during the submission or during the execution of the submission? So we're going to start in full guard again. Now, this is going to come from the inverted armbar, and we were talking about this before, where we're cupping over top, trying to get this wrist caught right in between my shoulder and my head, blading my hips, so I'm going to hip out, and then controlling the posture with my leg on top, and then finally looking to attack the elbow after I isolate the shoulder and the wrist during the submission. But a common thing that happens from here is during the application of the pressure onto the elbow, sometimes we have a tendency to lose the wrist that comes in front of our face. So as this happens, boom, that's common. Now I don't have an inverted armbar anymore. I need to, I'm still going to look to attack, and now I have a path towards the back as well, and now we're going to look to transition into a regular armbar from this position. So what I'm going to do first is my arm's going to continue to follow, and my elbow is going to work underneath me to keep my body off of the mat. My arm's going to follow all the way through, and my leg still remains on top. From here, I want to rotate my hips underneath. Right now you see the outside of my thigh is making contact with the mat. I'm going to try to rotate so my tailbone's up more towards the lights, and my hamstring is going to make contact right with their torso, bringing myself up. When this happens, a lot of times I also go from my elbow to my hand just to give me a little bit more space, and I'm also looking at my hand or even slightly over that shoulder. If I'm looking at what I'm doing, my hips are going to be very heavy, and it's going to be tough to keep them on top. So I make sure that I look away. Now, my arms still continue to come underneath. I go crease of my elbow to the crease of his, and my leg on the top side is going to carve all the way across. So my knee is going to come right in front of the ear and then start sliding down at the shoulder. This is the part where I think a lot of times people will mess this up is when my knee comes down, I don't go straight down towards the mat. I'll show it that way once. So when my knee comes over, coming straight down towards the mat, a couple of things happen. One, it's very loose on the shoulder, and the other is when I go to finish, a lot of times I miss the elbow. The elbow actually slides out from underneath of me. So instead, I want to make sure that my knee slides all the way through. The outside of my knee is going to be what makes contact with the mat. So as I come through, I make sure that I go all the way towards the other side. My body's rotated and facing the other direction right now. The crease of my elbow has slid down to the wrist, and now I have good control. My shin on the top side is controlling posture. I keep a nice flexed foot on top of the head, and now I still have my foot flexed on the far thigh as well to control his hips. Sometimes we can get a finish from right here, just by working in. More commonly, I need to rotate all the way through. So what I like to do is I like to take my free arm, so it's going to be the far side arm, and we come all the way over the leg closest towards us. So I'm going to attack right at the ankle. The next thing that I look to do is I'm not going to pull straight over like a rainbow. I'm going to go in a rotation coming all the way over my head as we pull those hips over. When I feel like we've made it all the way over, I don't want to land square. I want to have my hips bladed towards my opponent's head. That's going to insert my hamstring into his armpit. And now I come over with my leg. Lastly, I pinch my knees, engage my hamstrings, and I already have good control of the wrist. I'm now just going to go ahead and square my hips back up and do a slight bridge, lifting through to execute the regular arm. We'll go through it one more time. So, coming from the inverted armbar, looking to finish, and now I lose the arm that comes in front of my face. I need to make sure that I get a kickstand underneath me. I need a base support. I can't just rotate my hips on top. So I want to get my body off of the mat here. So the elbow comes under, then I switch up towards my hand. I like to have my leg nice and tight around the torso, and now this is where I'm looking to dive, crease my elbow under the crease of his, and my shin's coming right towards the back of the head. Free hand is going to grab right over the ankle. I'm going to go ahead and lift his hips by taking my leg that's making contact with his body. I'm going to start extending, hooking towards me. At the same time, I straighten the leg underneath the head. That's what allows me to get that roll, and I stay nice and tight. Again, when we come through, I don't land square. My body's going to land bladed. From here, the leg comes over top of the head. I engage my hamstring, pinching my knees. Now I square my hips back up and do a slight bridge in order to finish the armbar. So that's one transition we can do from the inverted armbar when we miss the wrist coming in front of the face.